This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
Hello there.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
So this might be my favorite class of bakers yet, like ever. I really enjoyed this group of people, end to end, like all of them. But it probably was one of the, I don't know. It was not the best season of Bake Off in the function of baking. But let us get to it. It's Creme Patissier. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. I host it. I'm the Inner Table 713. I also have other people who host along with me. It's Nick Jew. What's good, lady?
I'm back, bitches.
You was present in the show no matter what. You was there
Yes.
last week.
Y'all
So
had a
I
great
got-
show.
Oh, thank you. And that's my homeboy Tatum 216.
I have even more proof that biscuits are just scones.
I saw that video a while ago. It was maybe last year when it was going around the Twitterverse.
Yeah, when the Brits first got their hands on some Popeyes.
My man
Yeah.
said it's a scone. It's a scone.
And then he ate that bitch like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, sir, it is so not. Well, it's the finals. We don't get a theme this week. It's the finals. It's going to be a bunch of stuff getting thrown at you all at once at high clips, and you will have to deal with it. And that's kind of the joy of the finals, but also what sucks about the finals, because there's a little bit of everything going on, and I don't know if I enjoy that. But before we slide you over into that section of, I got to hook you up, we got to do a little something news-wise, news-related. Bakers make the world go round. I want y'all to know how excited I am every time that works on the first try, because it don't often do that. Your news story this week. The Big Brunch 2022 judges meet Sola El Wale, Will Guidara from HBO Max's culinary show. This is from Sukriti Makhija. Sorry, I can't pronounce his brother's name or sister's name. I don't know. So from SK Pop, the Big Brunch is set to bring people together over brunch-inspired food. The one-of-a-kind show will bring together 10 chefs who share their business dreams and compete for a chance at $300,000 as they put brunch-related dishes for the judges and the host. The Big Brunch, however, is more than just curated food. It is equally about the people involved in the process. Dan Levy, the show's creator, chose 10 chefs to tell their stories about their culinary and personal journeys as part of the show. Sola El Wale and Will, whose last Guidara, I'm gonna hope that's right, will judge the contestants' dishes with Schitt's Creek's Dan Levy hosting. The first 3 episodes of Big Brunch will air on November 10th, followed by 3 more on November 17th, concluded with the final 2 on November 24th. Okay, now that we made sense of that. The show will introduce Sola El Wale and Will as judges. The show will, much like Sunday brunches, aims to bring people together. And while the audience will not be able to eat the food that the chefs prepare, the warmth of the show will make viewers feel as if they are a part of it, even through their television screens. And on that note, let's learn a bit more about the judges, shall we? Well, I think we shall. Only not how you think. I'm not going to read no more of this article. It'll be in the show notes. You know what it is. But Nick, tell us some things. What we got going on here in the very near future?
Yeah. So we are going to review the Big Brunch. I begged the boys to do it because I got through like 4 episodes of the show over the weekend. I feel like I was begging a little bit because I know that the group kind of was talking about like the holiday Bake Off edition. I'm like, sure, but there's this show. I just really loved it. And so I'm like, before I finish all the episodes, I put it to y'all to see if you would be okay with that. And so I was like, well, let me stop and then I can go back to the beginning. So I'm really enjoying my rewatch.
And so, yeah, we're going to take next week off. Not really, because Aunt and me got something to record, but this will be off, and we'll come back. Not going to change the name or anything like that there. It'll still be the name. We'll just, we'll get to it. And Nick's going to take the reins on that one, so she will be in the hosting chair. That'll be a delight. It's going to be fun, and I'm excited for it. I've already watched the first episode and had some thoughts and ideas, but Nick told me to hold on, and so I shall, because I have faith in her as a person.
Either keep going or start over again is my advice, because it really hit me, and it's so reminiscent to me of the GBBO. So I think y'all will dig it.
And if you want to go along with us on that ride, well, and have HBO Max, then jump over there. I think it's HBO Max. I don't know if it's where it's available elsewhere around the world. And I have to say that because I was looking at our statistics, and trust me, we got listeners around the world, which is a delight. Always makes me chuckle when I see that, like, we riding deep. A lot of ladies in Wales. I say ladies because, again, I have that data to back it up. 91% of the people who listen to the show are women. Thank you, ladies, for the support and listening to what we do.
Women make the world.
Accurate. Well, let's get to it, y'all. It's the finals. Our remaining Forgive Me Bakers are Abdul, Sandro, and Shabir. And just in case you didn't know, Abdul is 29 years old. He's an electronics engineer from London. Sandro is 30. He's a nanny. And Shabir is a cardiovascular research associate. And I know that sounds like one thing, but then she was explaining when she made that DNA helix, the complex and the depth of her. Shabir doing some stuff that's going to save lives and also can bake. It's kind of dope.
Yes.
Our signature this week was a summer picnic. 6 mini cakes, 6 vegetarian pies, 6 finger sandwiches made with a classic white loaf. In any other situation, I would think this might be a showstopper challenge.
Yes.
It was unusual to put this much work on them right up front. They wanted them to use English grown ingredients. And I wrote in my notes, this is the most bake-off. This is like the most bake-offy challenge they've done all series long. Again, I have very much enjoyed the series. I love these bakers. They ain't been on their game. It's been slightly like, So, Shabira was going to make a no pork pie, which took her 3 times to say before Paul understood it. And Prue had to say she sang this. It's going to be a lot of me talking about Paul this week. I want y'all to know that. This is made with aubergine, mushroom, the quail egg, and a piccalilli. Although I wrote the word piccalilli, did not write down what the hell piccalilli was. So why don't we find out what that is together?
How did y'all feel about the heavy American shade when they were talking about aubergine?
I didn't like that.
I came across a TikTok recently that was like, you'd never see more xenophobic shit than when you see Europeans talking greasy about Americans. And I'm like, yeah, never lied. They be talking so wild and reckless.
It just felt like a thing that I would do, like, oh, here's my awful British accent. Like, it felt.
I do it. Because I do it, can I really be mad? You're right.
Right. It was in that spirit for me.
Piccalilli, or mustard pickle, a British interpretation of South Asian pickles, a relish or chopped and pickled vegetable and spices. Piccalilli. There we go, people.
Feels racist.
No, that's pickaninny. But I feel
that's probably what it's bringing out of me. Why I don't vibe with it.
Yeah. So that was her. That was her non-pork pie. Her finger sandwich was a heart-shaped finger sandwich filled with broad bean and coriander paste with a salsa verde. None of that seemed like it should have worked. I have to just have, again, It's Shabir. That shit don't ever sound right. It be lamb and tuna fish, but it get going when she do it. So
It's like
it
lemon tuna fish.
it worked out for her. And she made elderflower infused Swiss rolls filled with strawberry jam and rosemary cream. Abdul used Yorkshire feta cheese as a replacement or an English stand-in for feta cheese, leek, onion, and rocket and mint pie. I forgot what I told y'all rocket was. It is arugula. They call it rocket. That peppery lettuce. Y'all know what's up with that. He made beet and carrot and cream cheese and dill mini sandwiches. And he also made a Swiss roll filled with cherry and tarragon jam. Sandra went for cauliflower cheese pies and a short crust egg and cress sandwich, lemon and elderflower cakes, along with 6 fruit tarts and 6 blueberry jam biscuits. Each season, there is an overachiever on this show who feel like they got to do more than what was asked of them. And I hate that this season it had to be my boy. Because damn it, it was unnecessary and it just leads to unforced errors the entire time. It was an upsetting week for your man here. I want you to know that. Like,
Well,
no, baby,
so
what did you do?
so when they gave us the package of like all the bakers that were left and doing their journey throughout the season, you had to give it to Sandro. My guy had some really beautiful bakes. Like I think maybe people feel like he didn't deserve to be there. But when I look back at his season, I feel like the judges were hard on him. He didn't underperform.
Oh, that's going to be a part of this conversation in my notes. Worry not.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I honestly feel like from the beginning, like Sandro was always making beautiful things. Like I don't understand why he never got a handshake. I don't understand what.
Right.
Like I wish it was something more that Prue did. Like I know, Paul Hollywood got his handshake. If Prue had something that was like just as high, like Sandro would have got it several times.
Yeah.
Because when they play that good cop bad cop, Prue was like always saying something glowing about it, and then Paulie be like, "That was shite."
Alas. As for judging, Abdul overall looks quite nice. Swiss rolls lost a little color. The sandwiches were a bit irregular in size and a bit thick. The beet and carrot are crunchy and work well with the cream cheese. A nice soft sandwich. I don't think I ever want a sandwich described that way. I don't know. It just come off to me as kind of gross. The herb content in the pie was a nice kick, and the pastry is good. The cherry and the Swiss roll is good. Can't really taste the tarragon. Decent job. Flavor's on point.
Was this the first Swiss roll of the season?
No, because I could have swore Maxie made a Swiss roll. Yeah, because they all had to make a Swiss roll at some point. Because they was talking about it cracking. And or maybe people just made Swiss rolls for another event. Because the old girl made a Swiss roll. Remember hers?
Rebs, right?
Bruh, like there are other Swiss rolls to be had this season I can recall. So we'll just give it a that. I ain't gonna think too hard on it because all I'm gonna do is sit there like, who was that? Nah.
Right.
Also, I hadn't thought about the name Rebs, even though she was on that show this week. I was like, who is you? Because I ain't thought about you since you left.
Right? They showed one of the guys that was talking at the finale, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, who is this?
That was the dude
with the short arms. Yeah.
who went home week 1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, of course. He went home during the first challenge.
Oh my God. As for Sandro, massive sandwiches. Egg and cress bow Prue was all like, is that mustard? Oh, I feel you. Okay. If y'all want to know what egg and cress salad is, it's just egg salad with some watercress thrown in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get down with egg salad, more power to you with some mustard in it, because black people, the world around. Salad. So there you go. You might love it with cress even more.
Yeah, they like. I mean, I don't want to sound racist here, but like some people of some race just like mushy sandwiches, and I'm just not that dude. I'm just not that dude. Like, I've
I
never
mean,
had an
we're the
egg.
same race. I like an egg salad sandwich.
Unless
I've
we had
never,
an egg salad sandwich. Hold on.
I've never
Who
had one
me?
before.
Yes.
Who me?
Yeah. When's the last time you had
Uh,
an egg salad sandwich?
well, I can't eat eggs because I'm watching my cholesterol. But before I started this whole thing, it was like weeks.
Okay.
Actually, Starbucks makes a really good egg salad sandwich. Has a little
Okay.
dill in it. It's not
I got
bad.
faith. I have faith in you as a person, and I will investigate that matter. I'll let y'all know.
Okay.
I was
A,
no,
a,
I
quick,
we yeah. Go ahead.
a quick aside. So, when you're eating an egg salad sandwich, does it have any kind of dynamic contrast to it, or is it just
Yes,
one? Okay, I
the
think that's the difference, though.
the egg whites,
No, like you like. So, what I'm talking about is like
It
when
need a crunch. It need a bite or something.
lettuce,
But
lettuce,
yeah, I was about to say either maybe some lettuce, maybe some pickle, something on that bad boy. Got to have a little crunch
lettuce.
to it.
The
I
the
feel you.
Starbucks one has lettuce on it
Fair
or
enough.
toast.
or
Ah,
toast. Yeah.
that could be the move. That could be the move. What else? His pie crust was undercooked. The flavor absolutely delicious. And I wrote here in my notes. Once again, Minnie in Sandro's hands is a full-on cake in anybody else's hand. Because that man made them, they were supposed to make these little mini cakes. And it's like, bruh, what is. Then I met his family later this episode. It all made sense to me. You have people to feed in life, and that is many to you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just what it is. I feel like he was not dialing in what mini means. And I go, okay, baby, it's okay. Great flavor, just too big is what they said about his mini cakes. The judges didn't even bother trying the extra stuff he made. Sandro made some blueberry tarts. Blueberry jam filled biscuits along with some fruit tarts. And Paul was like, "I'm not even gonna try those." It's like, bruh,
Why you gotta
the,
be a
to-
hater, Paul?
the
Why?
tone was unnecessary.
Listen,
But and also it's like just try them shits and keep it motherfucking moving.
right? It's not like
Right.
he's never tried something that somebody wasn't really including in the challenge.
Thank you. Yeah, again. As for Shabir,
But
go
did he?
on.
I don't think he finished all of them, right?
Yeah, he did. No, that was just the way it was shot. When they end up coming panning around and showing shit, everything was
Okay.
there. So that was
He's
just a weird edit point. It made it look
he.
like he ran out of time, but he truly didn't.
They drank his prosecco.
Correct. Mm-mm-mm. As for Shabir, everything is uniform. Like hotel uniform is what Paul was basically saying. Unusual, really delicious, exactly the right texture. The pies could have used more salt, according to Prue. And let me tell you something: if an old white woman tell you your shit need more salt,
It's
it must
bland.
really be bland. But the crust was on point. Paul likes the look of the Swiss roll because the way she did it, she piped these strawberries that then kind of wrapped around the Swiss roll, kind of baked into it. Absolutely gorgeous. The rosemary overpowers the overall flavor, but the sponge is beautifully baked, soft and melts in your mouth, and goes well with the filling. Now, in our little, what do you call this? When they talk basically in the booth afterwards, but that's not what happens on this show. Shabira is like, every week this woman does say my shit tastes unusual. My flavors is unusual. And I just don't know what to do with that shit. Cause it's like this shit is not unusual. And she is absolutely correct. Nothing Shabira has done is so out of pocket. But these people are just it's so unusual. This
Like
she
literally made peanut butter and jelly, and Paul and Prue were like, "What? What?
They were
Nut and berry?"
So what, peanut butter and fruit together? No. It's like, yeah, we do that everywhere else on the planet. Y'all just weird. Oh, good Lord.
I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe with all the fun being made of fun of Americans, like we are truly the melting pot. Like we know a little bit about every culture and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, peanut butter. I don't know."
Chip, cheerio, all that rot. This week's technical challenge, set by Paul, summer pudding bomb. They had to be elderflower and berry jelly a creamer meringue, and a raspberry filling, all encased in raspberry soaked bread. 2 hours to complete.
Crazy.
None of the bakers know what this is. It's all tricks, no treats. The bread has to be rectangular to seal in the jelly and the meringue. They gave them vegetable gelatin, which has to be boiled to bloom. You can't just heat it. You can't just throw it in some hot water. You know what I'm saying? Two of the bakers did understand that, but still. Again, in my notes, honestly, one of the worst technical challenges I've ever seen in both what they asked for and what was produced. This shit was whack, and it's not something they should have. You can't put this on them. It's like there's no way it was going to turn out right, and it didn't. So one of the bakers got close.
Even the example looks disgusting. Like
Yes.
soaking bread in syrup and then laying it on top of like goopy pudding.
Again, it was terrible. Sandro didn't know to boil his gelatin, and therefore his jelly didn't set.
And he used round bread.
He cut his bread into circles, and of course that wasn't going to work because it has to be rectangles because that's the only way you're going to be able to get it to seal correct. Shabira's didn't set all the way. Abdul didn't soak his bread long enough, so it was like white spots all over it. Yeah, it did kind of have a marbly effect. Again, it's just like I don't know. Maybe this should have happened earlier in the season. Could have did this during bread week, perhaps, because you had to make the bread. So and I don't know, bro. I was again love this class of bakers. Hate this season otherwise. Not the season per se, but I hated some of the challenges they've done throughout.
They could have did this instead of making those nasty ass tacos.
Yes. As for the judging, I wrote this down. As Sandro and Shabira placed their fully collapsed bombs on the table, they both laugh because they know they fucked up. They know it. They both just laugh and just walk off like, okay, I'm not alone. As for Abdul,
this senior year, baby.
As for Abdul, his jelly set, there is a meringue, which they seem to appreciate, but the bread is, of course, pale because he didn't soak it right. Sandro, nothing is set. The bread was cut in circles, but the fruit was glazed perfectly, much to Prue's liking. And it just was like, that was so hilarious. Everybody got put on. They was like, wow. And again, that's what Ed was just saying, how Prue has always had something positive to pull out for Sandro. And this is about the only time Sandro really came through with some bullshit. So, to be honest, this is like I'm saying he has been otherwise a pretty stellar baker.
He fucked up in last week's technical too, but like,
Really. As for, I wish you would have been here to talk about that because it was such a fucked up. I was like, you're so pretty, but you're dumb as fuck.
He cut that shit all the wrong way. He was like, what happened?
Oh my god! The word, I mean, semicircle was right there, and I
was like, what the fuck, Sandra?
Oh shit! Oh, for Shabir, the jelly is set. The rest is not, and the flavors were the flavors were all right. So your rankings, of course, were in third. Sandro, setting times are out, but Prue did love the glazed fruits, which is was hilarious to me. Shabir, not set, but was delicious. Abdul, the basics were. Let me set myself up. The basics were there. He needed to soak the bread more. He was the closest to hitting the elements, and it tastes good. However, this is where you get a second helping of bakers make the world go round. Bakers make the world go round. Trust me when I say the entire internet, including me, was like, this motherfucker. When Abdul won the technical, like we do for anybody who wins the technical, we applaud them. We applaud them for coming in first in technical. As everyone starts clapping for that man, Paul like, no, you don't clap for him. And I was like, bitch.
Oh no.
But I don't stand alone. This is from the Daily Mail. Naomi Harris wrote this. Way to ruin his moment. Great British Bake Off fans slam Paul Hollywood as he urges bakers not to clap for Abdul's win after a disastrous technical round during the final. Great British Bake Off viewers have hit out at Paul Hollywood for urging the bakers not to clap for Abdul Rahman's Sharif's, wow, I didn't know that was his whole name, win after the technical challenge. The trio were tasked with creating summer pudding bomb. The bakers found themselves baffled by the recipe during the disastrous round, with two of them presenting collapsed mounds of bread, mousse, and unset jelly. And as the bakers tried to clap Abdul for coming in first place for a technical for the very first time, Paul didn't think there was much to celebrate and told them don't clap.
Boo this man.
After Paul's reaction, viewers were quick to take to Twitter to call out the judge for raining on Abdul's parade. One tweeted, Abdul finally wins his first technical challenge and yet says, don't clap. Way to ruin Abdul's moment and be a soggy bottom, Paul.
Oh.
While another shared, no, don't clap. Let Abdul have this win, Paul. Why'd Paul Hollywood shout, don't clap? His was the best. He deserved a round of applause, fumed a third watcher. Keeps going from there. I was like, man, I truly was like, nah, bruh. You let this man get his shine because he deserves it. He came as close to the brief as all the three bakers there in the tent. And we are going to show him some love because it might not have been perfect, but it was great. And he came in first.
That was a hard challenge. Nobody knew what that shit looked like. And if you get most of it right, that's fucking glorious.
That's a win.
It's the last challenge, so it had to be difficult, right? And like, yeah, you got to give somebody some credit because, I mean, first off, that was some bullshit. It was some shit that nobody should be eating to begin with, and then it was hard. So yeah, don't do that to that man.
Yeah, put some respect on my man's name. And confessional. That's the word I was looking for. After Sandro's confessional, they did a little flash to the background. They show things happening. They showed a bird catching a worm, and it really happened. And I was like, I ain't never seen. Only time I've seen a bird catch a worm was on cartoons. It was wild to me to see that, and I thought it was so cool.
Oh, I have it on right now. It's about to happen. I didn't notice it before.
So I was like, holy shit, look at that. I just thought that was so neat. So that was wild to me.
Yeah. I think Paul, like, shat on Abdul like that was like really, I get what he thinks he's doing, but like at this point, it's not like you're judging lets them go fix it, or there's nothing constructive to bring to the next challenge. Like, y'all threw a very difficult bake at them, and you said out of your own mouth that he had the basics down, so he should be congratulated for that.
Thank you. That's
big
it.
hater
all.
energy.
For real.
I mean, I don't know if they would ever do this, but I would like, especially when, okay, if it's a Prue or a Paul challenge, if they had like a video or like a quick breeze through of them fucking doing it. Because like y'all up here talking from the perch. I don't even know if you could do that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's real. Nick Jew, it's showstopper time for one last time this season. Were you show stopped?
First, let me say that I was in fact show stopped last week. I forgot to mention that in my recording. I've seen the show twice. I'm on my third watch right now, and I can only really tell you what Abdul's looked like. So going off of that recollection, like, no, kind of man, but yes, I think I was show stopped.
The showstopper this week, a large edible sculpture themed. The theme was Our Beautiful Planet, and
okay, yeah, this is the double helix, right?
No.
That was last week?
Yeah, that was last week. This is, well, here, allow me to go through it. Sandro, the world from a different angles. 3-layer lemon and plum cake for the base.
Oh, right.
White chocolate and profiterole clouds with a lemon biscuit sun and clouds to go along with that. what I wrote here in my notes is I don't appreciate Paul telling Sandro he didn't practice, just like last week. I feel like they be coming at Sandro, just like last week, I feel like they be coming at Sandro real sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been me looking at it closer since Nick pointed out, old girl said that how Nick Jew took Prue calling Sandro a boy. I've been looking at all of this shit a little tighter. And I'm like, it's 2 weeks straight you've been talking reckless to my mans. And I get it. Maybe that's I'm rooting for my boy, and so I'm taking it a fucking fucked up way. But I was very unhappy that he was like, "You didn't practice. You didn't." I'm like, bro, you understand in any other circumstance you can get got for that kind of talk. Watch how you speak to me, man.
I just don't recall. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I need to go back and revisit other seasons. But I just don't recall the judges being like, like definitely harsh and like, okay, this is what was wrong. Da, 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 da. But this, I don't know. There's something about this season's judging that feels very like they were like the disappointed parents a lot.
Yeah, it had a cruelty to it that again, I again love this class of bakers, have not enjoyed this season, and that's a part of it. Their judging has been judging in a way that has not been the Bake Off way, And,
like they're trying to appeal more to the American audience.
Don't do that.
It feels like, and don't do that. Yeah. I like it so sweet and English and nice.
Yeah.
And this is where I disagree just a little bit. Because I kind of felt like last season, that's kind of why Janus got voted off. Because
they harshly judged him, you think?
It kind of felt like, from the beginning, like he was Jurgen. Sorry, Jurgen.
I knew who you was talking about.
So, like, right off the bat, he did well. And then it seemed like since he did so well and was doing so good, that he had to do better than himself as time went on.
Yeah, they were judging him against him. I remember we talked about that. Like, they weren't judging him against the rest of the contestants. They were judging him against him.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like Sandro falls in the same category because it seemed like, I don't know. I don't know.
But they didn't rock with Sandro like that in the very beginning. It took them a couple of weeks to really start liking Sandro.
I kind of feel like he did so because a lot like the one cake he dedicated to his friend.
Yeah.
Leaps and bounds better than everybody else. But it kind of seemed like their critiques were more harsh than it should have been. It's like, man, his cake shitted on everybody else's. Like everybody else's.
No handshakes.
Yes, no handshakes. I don't know.
That's why I don't think he's the same as Jurgen, because Jurgen was winning Star Baker. He won like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like saying it's something I definitely noticed. Like I said, I it's something I've been, I guess, kind of watching for, and then I really noticed it last week. And this week, I was just like, once he said that you didn't. Again, hold on. I'll get you there. For Abdul, he went for it's all about the bees. He was going to do a honey sponge. A hedge was going to be the base of it, right? You know what I'm saying? And in there, blackberry jam. He also was going to make raspberry-filled profiteroles and an elderflower and almond biscuit beehive with these bee-shaped macarons. For Shabir, she was going to make an orangutan holding a forest above its head. It's going to be a Genoise sponge, which Shabir pronounced Genoise because that's how you pronounce it, not Genoese like the rest of them fuckers be saying. Flavored with black pepper. And so I was like, oh, I want to know what's going on with that. Filled with blackberry jam, covered in chocolate and hazelnut buttercream for the fur of the orangutan. The head, basically the face, but I guess the head in general, was supposed to be made with layers of tarragon shortbread. And the whole time, the orangutan is going to be holding up a forest of inverted meringues and strawberry and rhubarb custard tarts. Now, Shabir straight up said she didn't practice this. And they ain't say shit. But they was just accusing Sandro of not practicing it earlier in this shit. It was very upsetting to me. I was like, what is going on here that y'all is riding my mans like this? And I don't know. It just there's a bit of unfair in that. And like I said, it's been many times, like I said, Sandro came through and like, I don't know. We'll.
Body.
Maybe they're trying to pay him, like they're trying to impose a pretty tax on him.
Pretty hurts. Pretty hurts.
Well, allow for it. As for the judging, Sandro is up first. Sandro did not get everything he wanted to get done. They're supposed to have a whole nother layer to it with some planets and shit popping. He was like, I'm not gonna get to it. So let me let me do what I got. Cool. That's a good mindset to have, and do what you have as to the best of your abilities. But what they said when he brought it to him was it's a bit messy. They like the color and shape, which goes against you saying it's a bit messy. What was messy was the boulder buns at the bottom. They didn't surround the entire cake. They kind of cut off at a point, but still. The bread needed to be proved longer, which I thought was wild because he was worried. He was like, "Oh, my bread!" He thought he had left it in there for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it wasn't proved long enough. Great flavor. Paul thinks it's burnt, but I don't even think it looked dark. Paul said it was burnt. And if you look at that cake, because they show that cake close up personal, that is not burnt in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't even look remotely dark. Prue would enjoy a great big slab of it and a cup of tea. Oh, so how can it be that one of my people was saying I would go ham for this, and one of them is saying it's burnt? Somebody wrong here. Just pointing that out to you. Not over as for the profiteroles, not overly sweet, but very fruity, which is a cool thing to try to pull off, and it goes nice with his white chocolate. But then Paul's like, but what you should have did with this white chocolate was spun it like a lazy Susan and sprinkled the chocolate on like that instead of having the big globs of chocolate he had on there. And I was just like, should he have done that? Because that's not the look he was going for.
Right.
So I'm going to go with the baker wanted, which was clouds, not sprinkles of sauce all over the place. That's not what was popping here. I'm just mad.
I'm gonna go back. No, I'm gonna go back and watch just like random episodes of the cycles they have available on Netflix and see if I see them being as hard on anybody as they've been on Sandra.
Yeah. As for the biscuits, overbaked but good flavor. And so that's just that is how Sandro wrapped up finals week in the tent. And I was unhappy about it. Shabir, clever. Could have used more work. They love the colors. Prue thinks too much buttercream. Paul loves it and says it goes great with the cake. Lovely shortbread, however, buttery and crisp. The tarragon doesn't show up at all. And Prue likes that. Didn't want the tarragon to begin with, which is a wild ass thing to say. Because I feel like you should be judged for what you said you were going to like. You told me it's going to be a tarragon, and I don't taste tarragon. I should probably taste the damn tarragon. Just point it out to you. Top, not neat, but tastes fantastic. The expectation was that it would be neater. So you hear that. You hear what I just said about Sandro. Neither one of them sound like they knocked it out of the park. Abdul, they like the color. Looks good at a distance, but when you get up on it, no. Honey all the way throughout that cake. He really did make that honey flavor show up. And it's not unpleasant. Prue thought it was a bit overly sweet. The macaroons could have been, in Prue's opinion, B-shaped. He just made circle macaroons. He was like, that's the fattest bee. And I was just like, y'all be just really reckless in England. I just want y'all to know that, man.
Right?
No dome on the macarons. It was just something Abdul knows. He's like, I overbaked them. They're going to be more like biscuits than macarons. But Paul said they had the other components of a macaron. It's a good little snap and chew kind of vibe. The shoe buns, I want you to understand these words that Prue said, are a proper failure. Bruh. That lets you know how very, very, very poor those buns turned out to be. The beehive biscuit, though, the biscuit he made, which was basically he used the same biscuit that he used last week for his croquant, was a proper triumph. So it's what a again, you hear all this particular set of I guess judgment. And I would argue that given what we had, probably Abdul should have won.
So, yes, but I knew it was going to be Shabira when Paul and them were talking to Noel and Matt, and he said the quickest thing he said, we're going to talk about this challenge and other challenges. So I was like, oh, they got to open the door for Shabira because they can't give it to her off of this bake, but they can't give it to Abdul off of this season. So they had to bring other bakes into the conversation.
Something I didn't mention, Noel, one of our hosts, was not there most of this episode
COVID.
because he got the vid. And they show him sitting at that table, and I was like, baby, go home. You look
He don't
so
look
tired.
well. He don't look well.
And I know what it is. They basically was like, do that 5 days after your first symptoms showed up. They did that shit and rushed them back in. And I was like, bro, you look so tired. And I wish you would just stay on. I know it's the final one and it's a big deal, but get your rest, baby.
Can
you got
we
kids.
talk about Sandro's sister?
Bruh, you remember we saw Crystal's sisters last year? That whole family fine.
Yeah.
This whole family fine as fuck.
Right. The mama fine. Like, my God.
So at one point during this series, Sandro said something about Brazil.
Yes.
Being Brazilian.
Yes.
But then in this episode, he speaks of being Angolan. And I'm like, is there some kind of Brazilian Angolan connect that I don't know of?
So he's never actually said that he was Angolan. He's just always said he was born in Angola. And then I thought I heard his mom speaking Spanish to him and not Portuguese.
She did say te amo, which is Spanish. I don't know if te amo repeats in Portuguese because, like I said,
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so my guess is that they're probably of another nationality or race, but lived in Africa.
Man, see, that's the shit you should have told me about. I want to know my man's journey.
Right.
But yeah, his family fine as fuck, y'all. All of them.
My God.
Every one of them. His old cute and stupid ass. God, man, that man cut that damn fucking... he cut that moose in half. And I just had to laugh. Like, he's so pretty, but she's so
when he realized it too, he was like, oh, I should have... Oh, I was like, oh baby. Oh
he's
so pretty God. Though. God, he's so pretty. I'm just so glad that the season is over because now I can unmute him on Instagram.
So that's my favorite part about this is when the season finishes, I go follow everybody who I want to follow, and so that of course it was Sandro, it was Shabira, it's Maxie. I think that might be it. No disrespect to others, but that's who I gets down with. You know what I'm saying? Props to having an all people of color final. It's very dope. I don't know if that's happened in the past, and I was very excited to see that. Like I said, I truly enjoyed this class of bakers. Just the challenges they did this season, so forth and so on. I think there's some work to be done, and we hope next go round is considerably better than this one was. And it's like, I need more baking, actual baking. Don't be on that stove top. like I need you whipping up shit. It's winner.
Like what Ant said. They, instead of trying to like do new creative things, like stick with the shit you do every time.
Yeah. Bruh, they should be making baked Alaskas, bavoirs, all them weird ass dome fucking bombs and all them shits because they work and they're fun. And it's good to see. It's interesting to see bakers who can pull that off. So we'll see.
I think there's enough variety in the bakes where they can have a formula without going too far to the left. No more tacos. No more Mexican week. Like,
yeah, I think just do English week. Just do, okay, we're going to do some traditional, the UK bakes. Just do all UK. Because then you got Scotland, you got Wales, you got Northern Ireland, and you got the UK itself. And that's enough differentiation that you could have a real good time with that. And so just keep that shit to your country, and it'll probably work better for you because you don't know shit about Mexico. Clear as day, that is obvious. Your winner of the cake platter, Series 13 of the Great British Bake Off, is indeed Shabira. And
As God intended.
if you look at Shabira overall, the champ is here. No doubt. No doubt. You just look at this episode, it was Abdul. Take that to the bank. But Shabira won, and it's what I love so much about this show is how much they celebrate each other and how hyped they were. You don't even see a little speck of hate or jealousy for people. They just like, that's my girl and she did that, and I'm so proud of her for doing that. And it's just a delight to see. And they finally got to have families back in the tent, to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Because COVID has just been basically the crew and the bakers, which has been fine. But it's like nice to see the carnival festivities kind of come back big, and it looks so fun. I'm very like I said, very happy with the way this all kind of played itself out. Just mad at Paul Hollywood.
And three people of color.
Yeah,
in the final episode.
So, I go up for it. I'm very excited. I was very excited for that. Again, I'm not sure I've seen it happen before. So there we go. And there you go, people. That was Bake Off. Oh, you know what? I guess I should give you some poll results because I certainly have not looked at them. The polls are so I always put them out like one day past when we put the show up. And I constantly, all of a sudden, my phone will be like, "You have poll results." I'm like, "What? Oh yeah, I do. I did do that." All right. Who do I think should? Who do I want to win this series of Great British Bake Off? 100% of the votes says Sandro because we was all Sandro stands.
And where?
Again, we're gonna take a week off. So you won't have us next week, but then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk The Big Brunch on HBO Max. I would tell you to start watching now if you want to get down with the get down, or don't. You can listen to what we say about it and you can see if you want to watch it. I think it's gonna be a great time, and I hope you'll join us along on that. What else is going on in the world? Twitter is burning down. It's not really something we're going to talk about deeply on this show. I already have made myself a Hive account. I had made myself a Mastodon account, but Mastodon was absolute garbage. But Hive, so far, a delight. So, same name over there, Taylor 713. You can catch us all over there. You know what it is, the vibes. Thank you both. This has been a delight. It was such a fun series. Like I said, I was so happy to do it with you guys again. I'm glad we got together and put it down on paper. I got the E pointing in the right direction finally. Across the board, the E should be going to the left for creme pâtissier. Respect it. Thank you both for, like I said, spending these last 10 weeks with me and doing the damn thing. Like I said, it is a delight and can't wait to make more. And so I'm very excited for that. I don't know if y'all have anything to say to your listeners as we wrap this particular series up.
Well, thank you both for doing this. This is always my jam. It feels sad, but not sad because we're going to be right back. We're coming right back.
Gonna catch your breath. That's it. Plus, I don't even have to host it. I get to just sit and be like,
yeah, you get to be a guest. Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
The one thing I would like to say is you should send us all Jammy Dodgers.
I've had those. Have you not had Jammy Dodgers?
I've never even heard of it.
So those are the English biscuits that have a little heart in it. They have a little jam in it. That just means I got to send you some Jammy Dodgers, not on I?
I think I've had is it like just the biscuit and they come in a sleeve that don't have the jam inside? Is it the same biscuit?
Maybe.
I know I've had those. Biscuits. They're like cookies. They come in a sleeve. They kind of favor a Ritz cracker, but it's sweet. Huh. I think they're from the UK.
I don't know. But Jammy Dodgers, with a couple, you'll be all right, homie. I'll tell you right now.
Delish. Sounds delish.
They do the do. So I got to give it up to Jammy Dodgers. Jammy Dodgers and McVitie's digestive biscuits.
McVitie's.
You can get McVitie's at Giant Eagle around my way. So you can just go to the grocery store and snag you some McVitie's. Real breezy, I tell you that. So that one's a simple win, people. All right. This is Crimpin' CCA. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. We're very good at what we do. We'll see you back here in a couple of weeks to talk another baking show, or cooking show at that point. Cookery, little cookery in that one. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a delight. But I'm so glad you all joined us for this series. And we'll catch you again soon. Until then, get your bake on.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.